So I've been thinking about how to sort of show that this is a truly randomized start. And I think the best way to do it is just play the whole intro video. And that means loading from the previous campaign save. The best starting bonus is Pillar of Eyes, not the Mage Guild, because there's a linear sequence of easy fights that are straightforward, and Pillar of Eyes will give the tactical flexibility of a ranged shooter. Impossible difficulty, and begin. Reports claim a fleet of Rothian warships have landed on the southern coast of Arathia. We do not know who commands this force or its size. Through sources in EOFOL, we know Roland Ironfist cannot lead this fleet. Regardless, our plans remain unchanged. We start the last phase of our underground invasion and solidify our position along the southeastern coast. Afterwards, we can transport more reinforcements from Nihon. We have dug the last tunnels and blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway. So what do we got? Alamar. And I'm not even going to look at whatever else is there, because can't do anything about it, and I'm not going to reload. But I am going to... Yep. Okay, that's good. Whoever's in the tavern. Okay, that's it. I'm now doing commentary after I play the turn, and I also practice a turn before I record it so that I don't go slowly and think on camera. It's just easier. Day 3. Sinka is so-so. So all Might heroes. Well, I'm going to gamble on Christian's Ballista being good and wasting these trogs as they march in. I think that's the right choice. I don't really know how strong it'll be, but... and I'm not going to find out. They joined up. Maybe the AI weights the power of the Ballista heavily because it's worth 2,500. We'll see how it performs in the next Trog fight. He's going to head straight north. Day 4. Alamar will head to the gem pond, securing his magical regents. Day 5. Galthran is a weird choice of first hero for red. Sinka is decent. I mean, she's a Might hero. An oddball. So the fact that she's a Might hero is compatible with the push, which is the best one can say about her, really. Palomar needs to hit those sawmills next. Day 5. Trogs flee. Guess that ballista is pretty good intimidation factor. 4-1-1 casualties. Try to beat that. Prefer to take them on the pikemen. Slower regulars. Trogs are the weakest defensively. Get my pile going as well as I can. Could run out and then sacrifice a single stack of trogs, but his RPs would move again first next turn, so he'd still get a hit on my trogs. Better to let the pikemen take that hit. They're beefy boys, corn-fed. Lost one. Trogs can reach, so that's game over. Okay, Sinka's level up will be Advanced Leadership. This will allow her to loot the Warrior's Tomb on the Northwest Passage and head down to that Mage Guild where she can bring back the spells with Scholarship, which will be great because we have no Mage Guild. So don't need to hire Z to do that. Day 7. The Ballista will add some intimidation, even though it's unskilled. Sure enough, the Trogs flee. Build the town hall for that almighty income. And that's it. Week 2, day 1. Swordsman got +5 growth. That's not good. Get him anyway. Maybe he doesn't have Swordsman built yet. I guess he has a barracks or something, maybe. External dwelling. Not sure if it applies there. Sink is going to go north with the Harpies, Northwest Passage to Southwest Dungeon. And Christian is going to blitz the hill fort with all the unupgraded troops. Boost his movement. Okay, who have we got? Sephiroth is a support hero. And That, who could also ransack the tomb instead of Sinka. But he's not very useful in Southwest Dungeon. I think he should be near the hill fort so he can follow Christian to there and then operate out of Rampart. Garrison is undead there, and useless spell on Sephiroth. Week 2, day 2. Christian is powering up. Buy out the Harpies to get Sephiroth on her way. Alamar's a scholar, so he can build a mage guild and efficiently propagate spells in the home zone as well, while Sinka leaves. Alamar can just reach, almost. Cinca will go all the way and upgrade her harpy mount. Sephiroth will wait in town, and that's the turn. Month 2, or week 2, day 3. Red is in the area. Not really a great time to split the army. But fortunately it's concentrated. Sephiroth can't reach, so she can pick up that random resource down there. Hero chaining, Alamar to Cinca. Send back a couple of harpy mounts. Grab all the troops. I guess I should have done that before I left. Oops. Time for the meetup. Order of battle. A little confused. Too many unit types. Many of them slow. Pathfinding will be useful in the swamp. Twin 2 Trogs and 3 pikemen is a bad outcome. An incompetent outcome. These Crusaders are fast, so I think they'll prefer not to die to the Trogs and to hit the pikemen instead. Because otherwise they won't get their second hit off. So that overrides the priority to hit the squishy Trogs. Which would normally be what the AI chooses. So, I mean, you could argue that I should have just ran the Trogs forward instead of taking the hit on the pikemen, but I mean, the pikemen are irregulars. The Trogs are dungeon. I'm going to hang on to these harpies and let Cinca go ransack the tomb as long as these heroes are in the area. Who knows how much magic they have. Prefer to just finish them with the harpies quickly. Grez being unbelievably dumb, garrisoning here, despite the huge army Christian possesses. He gets air magic, which would be handy for helping those slow trogs charge, assuming we find haste, which we should somewhere. 10-3-1-4. That's a little high. I'm sure we can do better. Or, well, there's going to be some unavoidable magic arrows. It always kind of confuses me when I have all these slow units to put in some kind of line and try to get the first hit. Especially with a log. He's got three bars of morale, 12% chance to double moves, so don't want to take a hit on my harpies for no reason. No more spells from red. Defeated. Advanced leadership. Very nice. That center castle town is heavily built. It's got a city hall, resource silo, and 2 air magic spells, which is great. Bought a spell book for Christian. And now he has enough movement to take out these golems, or they join. Those will be good for the necromancer. Let him be viable. And there's some sulfur, which is the resource bottleneck. Dungeon faces. Christian's going to recharge his MP and maximize his movement next turn. Sephiroth will probably get a Mage Guild here next turn because income is now 4K. So red can quickly build up, or tan can quickly build up the civilian economy. Without further conquest. Cinca has no troops, but she can go scout a bit. Grab an artifact up here. Rib Cage, +2 power, that's a mage artifact. Maybe she'd go to Alamar. Alamar gets Earth Magic, which is his specialty. Pretty soon he'll be permanently resurrecting once he gets advanced. Right now his mission is to ferry the Harpies back to Cinca so she can... Well... No, I guess Alamar should go to the southwest dungeon. Because resurrecting Harpies is good, they're low HP, and the Necromancer will already be going to the Hill Fort to upgrade his starting troops. So he can support Christian and share the golems. Resource silo, extra wood, and an ore that's good for fortifying. Week 2, day 5. Leave these dregs behind. Not worth the morale cost. Hire Thant. Take over those golems. Necromancy is what he does. Focus on that. Get the skeleton ball going, maybe. Alamar needs to reclaim his Harpy Hags. Christian knows a lot of spells now. The +1 attack will help with his ballista. We'll see whether these golems want to join. Scholarship being useful. Sephiroth has learned the Mage Guild at the starting dungeon, and that's where the next City Hall will be. Cinca is coming back with the artifact. She will follow Christian, since no need for two scholars to hang out, her and Alamar. So I guess that gets the artifact. No, Alamar gets the artifact. More resurrection. Got a bit of a traffic jam here. Think I can make do with one harpy. Swamp entrance, quick combat says 1219. Sure, we can do better. In that swamp is a sulfur mine, which is strategic, hence the pathfinding skill on Christian. The hill fort reduces the urgency of the sulfur bottleneck, though, so no need to dive into the swamp right now. The priority currently is gold and upgrades, both of which will be attained or obtained by taking the hill fort, the rampart, and the northeast dungeon shortly with Christian's main push. Basically, this is the blind sight army, trogs, and beholders. One with no eyes at all, and the other with far too many. I do have haste, so this should only end one way with minimal casualties. Step back and sacrifice the skirmishers to foil the charge. He's isolated, overextended to take out a skirmisher. Don't even need haste for eliminating this one. Oh, low roll on the damage. Lost one Trog, that's fine. I assume it was a low roll. I didn't check the calculation. Three golems left, and they have initiative, but the Harpy gives me spellcasting initiative to get the haste off. So therein lies the synergy. 1 and 2, very good. So the dungeon explosion out of the center subterranean gate has gone well. Eruption, I should say. Wraiths, maybe? Week 2, day 6. Sephiroth is an economic hero destined for garrison duty. She doesn't even need to be on the active roster. Except when she ferries troops. They are wraiths, just a pack. That's good. Christian doesn't particularly mind losing his spell points. The iron golems are faster than the trogs, so that's preferable to haste them so that they won't be tied with the 7-speed wraiths. Not entirely sure. I mean, their HP is about equivalent. Not so sure about whether their damage will be. Golems are not known for being high damage, but they are tanky, so if someone's going to run out there and expose himself, well, golems are notoriously exhibitionist, aren't they? Living statues, proud of their form. These happen to have clothing chiseled on, but they are in fact naked. Be glad to be done with this mess of trying to construct a trog ball with not enough 1-stacks and these unupgraded guys. Even with the ballista helping, it's not really working, let alone against a flyer. Almost to the hill fort. Ooh, nice work, ballista. So that stack is done. Oh. Just Christian being ridiculous. He's got that artifact, the still eye, or quiet eye of the dragon. I forget. Well, these beefy boys are ready for more. 'Tis but a scratch. I think haste to make them move first is the best way to conserve their HP. Minimize losses. Fists of Fury. Alright, that's not bad. Ooh, all done. $17 is a significant number, numerologically. 1 short of 3 times 6. 666, we all know what that means. Think we'll do some scouting, clean up the mess Christian left behind in his haste. She needs a spellbook too if she's going to be any kind of scholar. And there is the promised land. Yes, please, all free. I love it. 126 trogs upgraded for free. And the mess of my front line is consolidated. Or will be when I rearrange the stacks. I wonder whether they're going to defend that. Red's going to defend that rampart or what. Alamar is finally on his way to the southwest dungeon and keep working towards this city hall. Money before income before recruitment. Never hire troops you can't afford is an evil overlord's motto. $4K per turn. Week 2, day 7. Cuthbert is out and about with a respectable army. Red's not finished yet, although the gap will only widen from here. Doomed but not done. Especially when I take that rampart. Grab the goodies. Get your upgrade that. Time to buy a city hall in main dungeon. Get that daily income. That's the KPI. Key performance indicator. You build up your income while your troop population is building up, so that when you achieve a budget surplus, you have something useful to spend it on. Nice. Weekend, day 7, bonus of the Idol of Fortune. Alamar is rushing to the to the southwest dungeon to grab that town hall, I guess it is. Whatever it is. Daily income. Cinco will explore a little shroud and then back in time to the stables. And just making sure that she can return. Okay, that's far enough. Just made it back. Christian takes the town unopposed. Very good. First aid tent, the math works out. I think he's healing beholders. It'll be worth it in 5 rounds of average healing. 13 HP a round. Plus it adds to the threat of his army, to the AI. Grab these free centaurs. And not sure whether I should leave them behind, but no one's nearby to start commanding this rampart town, and it doesn't have a fort, so I think I'll just bring them along for now. He's got the morale for it. Do I stick around and wait for troops? No, that's a bad idea, because I need to hit that northwest dungeon, take out those silver pegasi. Even though I could wait a day and then get 14 more free centaurs, it's not worth that delay. Someone else can pick up the free centaurs later in the week. I could leave the centaurs in garrison, but they might just get crushed by whoever passes by. I could try to natural diplomacy those golems, but they're kind of acting as a guard. Oh, I did leave the centaurs. That was a mistake. Oops. Well, Fant better hurry up there, I guess. He will. Anyway, I don't really want the centaurs to fight underground. They're surface troops. So I'll just hope that Red is so depleted right now that he can't crush that rampart town, which is a reasonable bet. Sephiroth will scout. Nothing else to build. Week 3, Day 1. Alomar will grab the free artifact. It's 2 mage artifacts for him. Cinca visits the stables, and then she will ferry the pikemen north. Forming part of a hero chain connecting Center Castle to Northeast Rampart. First, though, she scholars with Sephiroth. Who will scout to the south, where it should be relatively safe. With the stables. Please do visit the stables. Oh, no. Whoops. Well, strategy trumps micro errors. Screwed up my order of battle here. These guys are fast, so can't stop them from getting the first hit, so the goal is to just clump everyone in the middle. In fact, I should choose a tight formation for this, since there's no penalty. But certainly all the relevant, important casualties, people who are not expendable in the middle, stacks that are not expendable. So the evil eye needs to be in the center as well, so that they can't get a kill outside the range of retaliation from the trogs or the golems. Quick combat gives 8. I think together they can reach any back row hex, so there's no safety. Yeah, so I should have done a tight formation there. Hand off the golems to That for faster underground travel. And just to have another army going. Quick combat gave 9 casualties. First aid tent makes an effective lure to the south. Which helps to fully exploit the ranged attacks, because they won't. The AI won't flood the shield wall. The downside is the need to haste to protect the first aid tent. Which I think would be fine from a strike by 18 trogs, but I don't know, 3 times 18, 3 times 20 is 60, it's got 750. I have no idea what kind of damage they do. I reckon they could survive one hit, but I can spend 5 MP here to make sure it's safe. Tanking with your first aid tent is a bad habit. The reason I could spend that MP was Cape of Conjuring is going to make my haste last, so I'll be able to get to these Medusas on the back line with the quickness. Maybe it would have been nice to slow the harpies, but whatever. Okay, Jaeger. That's fine. And Malcolm, Eagle Eye. Well, he's on the front lines. He's going to be close. Operating out of Rampart, I assume, so that's fine. You can try to steal the spells from North Castle. Start working on the center dungeon, City Hall. Week 3, Day 2. Questionable choice of incorporating the undead into his army. I suppose he natural diplomacied or diplomacied those wraiths. Oh, whoops, I forgot to do my order of battle. I'd like to have whoops. I like to have one distractor guy, one stack in this situation. Not a bunch of 1 stacks because he's a mage, so he wants to buff the main stack or possibly resurrect it, but just 1 for a distraction for these slow trogs, relatively slow trogs. Small risk of morale, 4%. So I guess to be optimal, I should have been shooting Magic Arrow to minimize the risk of a morale hit. Because I do want to rest at this Mage Guild. since it has lightning bolt particularly. But I guess I didn't know that when I was doing the battle with the Trogs. Spam the lightning bolt into the Archmagi. I can't afford to delay on that tower because it may receive reinforcements, which would render my current troops inadequate, and it's a huge swing. Assuming there's a city hall there, that's what, 2k per turn that goes to red instead of to tan, so a 4k swing daily. Yeah, I gotta rush that. Even waiting for the MP is questionable, but I don't want to fail, so I may as well get that extra 12 MP or whatever. Another lightning bolt, I think, will make a big difference on casualties. And I'll use those rampart troops as fodder, cannon fodder, hopefully. Take some heat off the harpies. Remember, the objective is to beat red, so it's best to think in terms of tan's profit minus red's profit. If we make gold the KPI. I'm burning magic arrows here to minimize the amount of damage these Medusas can do and establish fire superiority, which is now done. So now I can sit back. So the first aid 10 is certainly safe from those trogs. That just leaves the harpies. Whoops, should have attacked the harpies. I should probably put a magic arrow into the harpies. I don't have a haste, so I can't charge them. So I lose a trog. 65 gold. Was that a mistake? Like, should I have... I guess I should have not used the magic arrow and saved the charge for the harpies, knowing that my range would take out the Medusas. I thought they would be a bit tougher, or I guess my ballista is just stronger than I thought, maybe. Several in this case, but only 2. So, anyway. One trog was well within the range of acceptable casualties for taking this town, before I knew how many there were. So he needs to regain MP. He's going to wait. That will proceed. Jaeger gets advanced mysticism. And so the question is, what's he going to do? not really clear. Those units need to get to the hill fort for upgrade. Upgrade Fant. I don't have so much money that I can just pay the premium to upgrade organically. Nor do I have the upgraded dwellings built, for the most part. I do have enough to buy out my troops and to continue building city halls, which is great. Rearrange my dungeon satellite towns in clockwise order from first dungeon. Gonna bury red in gold income KPI. Outspend him to victory. So I guess that's the next point that Christian will attack to open a path from first dungeon to northeast dungeon in the hill fort. Jaeger has nothing to do then, so he's going to go for the learning stone, which may put him out of position, but that's okay. We're ahead, we're winning. Tan is winning. Yeah, I don't like the lack of heroes down here. No hero chain to do the upgrades, but stretch thin, a lot of territory, surface and below. Week 3, day 3. Nice haul. Now I'll have her head back to safety and the stable she missed. She should stay underground. She's a non-combatant. Christian needs to visit the hill fort. Battle Scholar Academy would be good. We'll see if that's in the budget. That can stow his undead in the garrison and go pick up more centaurs. Sinka should assist Christian in reaching the hill fort. Her movement terrain is grass as long as her limiting factor is the pikeman. Malcolm finds an artifact that might prove useful, so he'll hustle back past the skipping the ore, which is non-urgent. The ore pickups. loose ore. Yeah, I could have done this last turn. This Mana Vortex for Alamar. And then not waited a turn to recharge his mana normally. So that was a day loss in tempo. It was a mistake. These speed 5 reinforcements are, I mean, having more troops would concentrate the stacks of the Archmagi, but I think the Harpies are still a hard counter if I send 1 stacks to absorb the hits instead of taking them on the main stack, which will be in optimal shooter range unless I use a haste, which would require not blasting a stack on the first round. So I'm not sure that's a good move. So I think I'll just go in with the Harpies. So I could have gone last turn. I was thinking that fight would be harder than it really is. Once you have Harpies, it's a hard counter. Harpies and decent sorcery to blast a stack per turn. I shouldn't say sorcery since that's a skill, but decent damage magic. So Christian particularly needs these counters to Beholders, which is the level 2 and level 3 creatures, Medusas and Harpies. Well, Medusas aren't a perfect counter, but the Harpies are. Medusas have the unnecessary melee special ability. Looks like the academy's in the budget. Christian goes to school and learns diplomacy. That is fantastic. Very well suited to his current role. And he is busier than ever now. I'd like to go get those iron golems with him, but I guess they can stand as my sentries for now. Keeping red out. I have no need to go in that direction. That is pretty limited in what he can do. I guess his best hope of accomplishing anything is using those golems. Maybe reanimating the skeletons to soak up hits until the golems reach their target. I don't know, the local fights are too hard for him. He's going to have to explore. Maybe he should hang on to a centaur. Just leave the troops back at base until he finds something he can kill or gets enough minotaurs to become formidable. Love the free upgrade on the Trogs. Sinka just makes it back. Jaeger is sort of abandoning his post selfishly instead of hero chaining for Christian, but there's Malcolm to fill in that gap, so I guess that's okay. So Malcolm's gonna give the badge of courage to Alamar and hope we get a morale. There's too much morale over by Christian, even though he's doing diplomacy now. He's just overflowing with morale, so. And we only have two viable armies right now, so. The morale priority goes to might heroes, but the overflow goes to magic hero. Okay, here we go. Hope for some morale. Bunch of graybeards. Time for early retirement, gentlemen. You know, I guess I should have. No morale, but doesn't make a difference. They have no melee penalty, and they didn't go for the main stack. So even having that damage, there would be some overflow. It'd be worse than just a kill per shot on the main stack. So that was better. Sending those one stacks forward. Now I'm trying to I'm putting the main stack out of melee distance of the two center magi, but I should have put in between the two bottom magi, since I'm going to frostbolt the top magi. Which leaves me out of position to hit the bottom magi. I can still spell blast him, so it might not matter. A little bit worried this guy will wander out of range, but he can't not get a melee hit in. Try to hurt him together. It's unfortunate, one survived. Okay, but it's just MP, easily replenished. So I need to do 90. Not bad at all. 4 and some MP. considering how ugly that fight could be. I'm happy with bringing the single unit type I did. If there had been some level 1 units for them to target, it would have been ugly. So with luck next turn, I will hold that tower. I might be facing gremlins, master gremlins, and probably stone gargoyles there. Should be the worst I face this early. Yeah, way too much morale. Adding some additional unit types will help. And the Medusas are good for intimidation. Intimidating the AIs. Threat evaluation. I can't grab the golems because sync is in the way, and anyway I need to prioritize clearing my interior lines before I leave. Remove that basically friendly roadblock. Even if I recruited those guys and gave them to Thant to make him more useful, that would not be strategic. Thant has scouting to do. I think I opened up a path into the swamp, maybe? I'm not sure. Jaeger might do well in the south. He's a mage with mysticism. So, south surface might not have very many wells. Otherwise, there's a lot of mage guilds everywhere. It's hard to know where he'd be useful. The standard configuration for this army would be shooters on the sides, slow infantry in the middle, but I think I should put the trogs in the middle to make it easy to protect them. And my shooters, dungeon shooters, are not that vulnerable, so they don't have to be on the sides. They can be closer to the middle for better range coverage into the center. The trogs are vulnerable, so surround them with reinforcements. I could clump everyone together, actually. Tight formation might be a little better. But I'm fighting evil eyes, so that everything changes. Who do I want in the middle? It's going to be Harpy 1 stacks to sacrifice. And then the slow guys in the middle. To reach easier. Maybe I should, I don't know about tight formation. Really need to flag that mercury mine. That's why I'm clearing interior lines, to prevent issues like that from continuing to occur. Improve the logistics. The kingdom logistics. Jaeger gets water magic. Keep going for the City Hall. That's Center Dungeon. So I've got 6 towns and red has 2. This is really getting lopsided quickly. Week 3, day 4, a wild Galthran appears. Interesting target. Looks like an easy meal for someone. Not for Sephiroth. So Galthran will cut him off from the north. There's only a 1-point speed difference between these two, and the zombies do their special attacks, so I'll bring them, and I'll bring a first aid tent to bolster the golems. Which combined with Reanimate Dead should make him pretty annoying to fight. I guess I'll give him 1 Centaur Captain for casting priority. It'll have like an 8% chance of morale. Low morale, but we're panicking. But that's still a 92% chance of greatly improving the casting priority. So it's worth 1 stack. And still have space for all my zombies to do their sledge whacking. Sludge and sledge. Hand off these Centaur Captains to Christian. Soak up some of his surplus morale. Grab this Mercury lab. Upgrade Jaeger's mount. Jaeger is going to get the attack bonus as well as the learning stone. Expect him to see active combat duty. I guess he needs to take Galthran soon, so potentially if Galthran heads west, which he probably will, there's that open town. Center Dungeon. I don't have anyone else close by. So I think I made a mistake. I should have had him grab harpies. Maybe Sephiroth can do it for him. Help him, expedite him. I'll probably lose a turn or so of income to red, which is not small. It's like 2k times 2, so 4k swing. Oh, the Evil Eyes joined. That's huge. So that's 22 Evil Eyes just joined. Diplomacy is demonstrating its overpowered nature. Let's see if these guys join. Just in case they don't, It's getting tough to protect the trogs with 1-stacks. But realistically, they're not going to get far. They'll be in 1-stack and Christian can just slow it or something. Anyway, that's the standard formation. And they choose sanity. Choose life. Not a lot of help around here, but so should I Christian go for that? I think Alamar can go for that. And then Christian can do these dwellings finally. Once all the city halls are online. And Sinka can support. Okay, Sephiroth needs to run from Galthran. And just head over to support Christian, I guess. Yeah, she can grab the harpies and bring them over to Christian, from whom they will get to Alamar eventually. Christian is going to clean up these interior lines while recruiting. While recruiting them to the cause, which will be huge. Malcolm needs to go plunder the newly opened realm. Or explore it. Lots of loose goodies. So yeah, Sephiroth needs to pick up. Actually, those Harpy Hags need to kill Galthran. That's their immediate mission. Building city halls, burying red economically. Got a lot of marketplaces now. Not sure what that does for my prices. So this is a de facto win, actually. I've isolated red to one town, so that's how I count victory. The de facto victory point for my rivals, Master KD and Meridian, because you still need to level up the troops, the heroes to 12 for the next scenario, the last scenario of the campaign, Steadwick's Fall, which is notoriously difficult. So I guess I'll play a few more turns on camera just to demonstrate that Red's feeble counterattacks are in vain. And because most people will not be as dominant by this stage, so it helps to show what to do next. Week 3, day 5. Time for Galthran to meet his demise, his second demise. Sephiroth doesn't quite level up. Send out the Harpy Interceptors. Teach them why they fear the dark. Stay away from the Batcave. Dead thing. Quick combat resolves without magic, so it was a defeat. But he's been in the swamp while Jaeger has been studying with scholars. Galthorn is a might hero. Defensive oriented, I guess. Anyway, I'll just spread out my harpies. Jaeger has mysticism, so I'd like to do this with a minimum of mana expenditure. Mysticism is his specialty, so I'm not sure if that translates into an extra point of mana per turn yet or not. But he's got advanced mysticism, so he can just head straight into the swamp. The shield on the centaurs makes it prohibitive to try to melee them down. So that justifies 2 magic arrows. I could try to ring around the Rosie and ignore the skeleton, but that would take too long. I don't think it can one-hit a Harpy Hag now, so it's time to just stand your ground. He can't get past those rocks and the 2 harpies at the bottlenecks, so if one of the harpies gets hurt, there's a safe retreat from which he can still fight. 5 damage. First aid, that is useful on magic heroes, contrary to popular belief, because they do work with small army sizes, as you just saw. So, yeah, he doesn't need to come to this mage guild. He should head up to Rampart and get or at least meet up with, head up to Rampart and get a first aid tent. And then with the first aid tent and mysticism, he can really operate independently in the deep south without a well nearby. Makes him a better scout than a might hero, because he can occasionally win a fight by cheesing it with harpies, or later on maybe with the manticores. Maybe I could magic arrow this guy, but that's no fun. So you can 20 with like 15 HP, so 200 and 300. Magic arrow does like 70, so no, 2 magic arrows would not take care of it. We're doing 155 damage, so this is more efficient. Very good. Bless is very effective on harpies. And the slow is just to ensure there was no morale shenanigans. Alamar is going to break through there with all the troops to send them off to the hill fort and the rampart. Keep pushing for those city halls. First, That is going to ransack a tomb. That's what he's here for, the creepy freak. It's to the northwest. Do some exploring. He can garrison his undead. Sephiroth will head back to help Hero Chain. Keep our producers safe. Sinka will support Christian. Malcolm will harvest. He can use his eagle eye to pick up gems. Okay, city halls. And still some cash left over, so let's build something cheap. Whatever might be useful. Mana Vortex will help Christian. Make our diplomat move faster, always good. Week 3, day 5. Another invader. Demonstrates why I should have had Jaeger immediately refill his MP instead of trying to finesse his mysticism. But I still do want him to go into the swamp and head up to the rampart and get his first aid tent. And I do have someone else in the area who may be able to cover it. And if not, then I'm just out of position. I mean, nothing says I have to hold that center dungeon the whole game. I've taken more defensible surface towns from him that are currently better protected. And it's more important that I consolidate my internal lines. So I'm comfortable with my main army being in the backfield doing that, recruiting. diplomacy snowballing. There's going to be some back and forth because I've decided not to crush Red and take his main town, because I need to continue to develop my heroes. So I don't want to defeat Red utterly at this point. Otherwise, I would. But we'll see. I have no ability to stop his main hero in the center right now. But it's just a secondary hero, so someone who came out of the fog unexpectedly, like Galthran out of the swamp. That's why I need better scouting. So we'll see. Neela has got more griffins than I expected. I have to whittle those down first. There'll be murder on the 1-stacks. I'll let the AI do its little setup thing. Don't want the griffin to start acting independently. Not really sure what it's trying to accomplish with this advance. It should just charge with the griffin, but I'll take it. And now this is going to be a long battle, but I'm just going to try to keep my 1-stacks alive and whittle them down with my mana overload, mana vortex, magic arrow, and just run away until that's done. There's a little bit of strategy with trying to kill off the one halberdier, but does that even matter? Not really. So basically, it just takes a while. Now you could argue that I shouldn't leave my harpy vulnerable to these gremlins, but I do not want the AI to flee. I want him to try to take that last hit and die like that, be defeated, even though it's a low-level hero. Turned out she still had an artifact, and I think she at least had one power-up. Maybe she was level 2 or something. So anyway, I mean, it's an Eagle Eye artifact, so it's nothing special, but... Or maybe I just got careless. Gonna bust through these to link up with Christian and the Hill Fort. So Sephiroth should learn her lesson and go refill her MP immediately. I mean, she's done some fighting. She probably deserves a +1 attack power up as well, but EMP is more important. We do not have the money to upgrade city halls this turn. So that's pretty good. Two red heroes down. (137). Here comes Cuthbert. Wants his town back. Understandable. Jihan keeps running. Or sorry, not Jihan, Jaeger. No need to visit the Thieves Guild. I've already got all the marketplace or taverns I need for full intelligence. AI is an explorer and I'm crushing him. If he wants to garrison his main hero in an unfortified town, be my guess. Maybe he'll build a fort for me. Malcolm can pick up a ammo cart, which will help out definitely with the Medusas, and I think the Evil Eyes might have low ammo as well. Certainly the Medusas do. So, if we need to stand a siege with some Medusas, or later on, not sure how many shots Master Gremlins have. Beholders don't join, and I have no slots to take those elves down there. Forgot about them. Someone else can deal with that. I don't even know if the artifact or... There should be an artifact down there. I don't know if it's any good, though. This artifact is good. That'll go to Christian. Make his ballista continue to be relevant. Oh, I need to build some Minotaurs to help out the diplomacy. Christian's going to head up there and strong-arm the Minotaurs and Medusas in a minute, so in a couple of turns. So I do need to get on that. Increase the chance of them joining by 10%. Or it's a 10% boost to one step of the calculation. I don't know if it's probably less than 10% total boost to their willingness to join. And at most 10% improvement. Sephiroth needs to get into this hero chain. Maybe she can bring the artifact down to Christian. So she does not recharge her MP. It's not relevant in this battle. Maybe I'll come to regret that, but she could use some more harpies anyway. My harpy interceptor mages performed well. I'm happy with them. Let them flee in tatters after their victory. Cackling all the way. Okay, time to fry some eyeballs. Splat. It's got to be particularly nasty when you're just a brain and eyeballs to get hit with lightning. Explode all your jelly. At least like a normal human being has a bunch of flesh to route it around the delicate electromagnetic organs. I think the main problem with lightning is it tends to route through the heart via the blood. Which then stops. Anyway. Try to get this one stack onto the other beholder. Main stack. Oh, not main anymore, now he's a 1. So no more shooting at the trogs, please. That's going to die. Trogs are blind, which doesn't help with dodging. Scholarship over scouting. Scouting is a might hero skill. Mages have other ways of gathering intelligence. Cinca will speed up Christian. By ferrying the army ahead a bit without losing too much speed herself. Keep building those city halls. Nothing to do here, and it's at risk of capture anyway. come to build in the main town. We'll go for a citadel to increase the growth cheaply, especially since trogs are free to upgrade. Maybe I should have built towards the minotaurs instead. Week 4, day 1. Lost center castle. Sink is sitting on the mana vortex, so I can't go into town or I'll cause her to trigger it with her 10 base MP. That would be a waste. So she can meet up with Christian, but she should first meet up with Alamar. Trade spells from west to east. Jaeger would be faster to skip the swamp to catch Clancy. Clancy's got coverage though from center castle. So he can continue towards his first aid tenant, or actually since Thant already has one, maybe he doesn't need his own. He can share Thant's for now, but he still has to go back to get those centaur captains. There's no independent rampart army. It's going to be folded into one of the others. So it's just the Minotaur, the Necrotars. There are currently no Minotaurs in it, but there will be. This artifact passes to Christian. Thant is going to keep getting centaurs, so may as well just stay with that. Avoid ruining his morale even further. Is Jaeger missing some of his harpies? I'm not sure. Did he lose any? I don't think he did. Anyway, Thant picks up his army, and I forgot to give him the mana vortex, which would have helped him get his first kill, first victory. I guess the Sephiroth can pick it up, maybe. Delay her artifact delivery a bit, but maybe she can give it to Alamar, who's going to fight the center castle. He's closer anyway. As long as it's being used in battle, I don't care exactly who gets it. It's one of the two-man armies. Alamar's Damazons. So we just learned a bunch of spells from Sinka, nothing to pass over to her though. And now Sinka will go recruit harpies after she teaches Christian what she learned. Really got a lot of level 1 spells now. A lot of basic mage guilds. Actually, those centaurs should be with Alamar, but that'll be fixed soon enough. Alamar needs some level 1 irregulars to soak up the damage for his fragile harpies and expensive medusas. Christian has plenty of level 1 trogs to do that, so. Okay, Alamar gets the vortex, good. And now he needs to load up to pass off to Christian, who I think has already been to this battle academy. If not, there's simply no way to get him in there. It's too crowded. So Christian's blindside army gets the Evil Eyes, the Trogs, and needs 1 Medusa to say hello to the Medusas. Would be good if he had 1 Minotaur too, but no can do. Maybe I'll wait until he has one to take out the Minotaurs. I'm considering giving Christian some irregulars to absorb his tremendous morale oversupply, but it just doesn't make sense. These are surface irregulars, so they belong on the surface, which is where Alamar is going. Christian needs to focus down below on converting as many dungeon troops as he can to Tan's cause, so it's just not practical for him to go up to the surface. I'm sure we'll get some other irregulars for him eventually, like the Master Gremlins. He can take those. Their native biome isn't grassland, so they can operate underground. Jaeger does not need to meet up with Thant. Just needs to grab the centaurs. Okay, Christian's gonna drive by Alamar. Alamar will take the morale artifact that Christian definitely does not need. And also the first aid tent. It favors the caster's ranged combat playstyle more. Want to keep those Medusas and Harpies alive. Be worthwhile to buy another one and give it to Christian, but Halamar wants it more and can defend it better. Christian continues on to the Medusas. Set his order of battle now. Not sure whether they're queens, but so the Evil Eyes are faster. They can go at the end. And then the Trogs are slower. Doesn't matter where they go. They'll probably have to charge across with haste. So they're not queens, but they might have a queen stack. Okay, this giant mess. Alamar's going to leave these recruits alone. Just take the upgraded troops. Spread out the Medusas to maximize their ability. Petrify. We don't have the speed advantage over the Griffins, so slow pikemen in the middle and Harpies near the top. Not sure what to build here, I guess. Still voices. The Medusa dwelling is next. And may as well finish the hero power-up buildings in the satellite towns. Just because I always forget them otherwise. And Tan has gold to spare. We have gold to spare. Red has obligingly moved his entire army into striking distance in order to regain some of his gold income. He's going to find out what I spent it on. all done building the city halls. Castle is premature, expensive, and unnecessary. This is cheaper. Lorelei is a great hero. She will join the Damazon army with Alamar. Or she could... Maybe Alamar should go over and support Christian, since his resurrection is especially effective on level 1 troops. And then Lorelei can be the primary commander of the Damazons. She'll need some mage to support her, but there are mages floating around who can do that. A lot of troops headed for upgrade. That's a big shipment. Week 4, day 2. Jaeger grabs the centaurs. Malcolm gets earth magic. The Medusas join, 25 of them. That's great. Time to retake the center. Christian will be there a little sooner than Alamar, so it's worth sending him up for that huge 4K profit delta. Sephiroth grabs the Mana Vortex and Advanced Estates. Mages can move by magic, so she doesn't need logistics, despite being a support hero. Alamar advances. If necessary, he'll be the one chasing heroes down on the surface. Christian will merely make a brief appearance, hit the stables, take the town, and maybe attack those archers. No, it's more something for the Damazons, the Harpies, counter-ranged attackers. Okay, Sephiroth is going to purchase troops to hand off to the Harpy girl, and then she'll deliver her artifact. Those evil eyes would make a nice addition. The artifact too. And since Christian is going to get that, I guess the weapon artifact should go to Alamar, which is fine since that's easier for Sephiroth to reach anyway. Just building the labyrinth. Nothing else to build. Can't afford to improve mage guilds yet. Red flees into the swamp. Week 4, day 3. Not a bad idea running down there. Lorelei can take blind sight, can take the Damazons down after them, even if Alamar needs to head back to recharge his MP, so they will not escape. Sephiroth passes off her reinforcements and heads for Alamar. Malcolm with reinforcements, showing the power of having open lines of interior communication. Convoying vast army to this hill fort where it's going to cut off Cuthbert. If he tries to head north towards Rampart, he will meet an overwhelming force, while my 2 other generals operate freely in other directions. In fact, I could leave Red with Rampart and take both castle towns. That is a mildly tempting idea. The hill fort is strategic, but I would always have forces, armies, capable armies heading towards that location, so it would be difficult for Red to get anywhere. That would give me a much stronger castle-based army in exchange for a town without even a fort. So if he's unwisely left home with his main army, that's an option. As long as he takes it. I don't want to accidentally defeat Red by taking all the towns. Time to build a Manticore lair. No need for a castle until the enemy is close by. Nothing else to build, really. Day 144, Cuthbert is heading towards Rampart. There's an opportunity to intercept him with Jaeger. He's running right into the reinforcement column, leaving Christian free to continue his diplomacy. Success. Very hefty stack of evil eyes now. Roll the dice again. Nope. You could kill one with a lightning bolt, but I think slow will allow the troglodytes to defend, increasing their defense rating by 20%, and also allow the basic Medusas to fire first. So I suspect that's better than Stone Skin on the Trogs. There are other options like charging the Trogs in with haste, but I think this one is best. It would still take 2 turns to get over there, and this is going to be over in 2 turns. +2 defense. I'm just wondering whether there's a path through that. I don't think so. Lost 5. Yeah, he's down from 18 to 9, so this should be over. I could body block with the Harpies as well. In fact, that's a good idea. They'll have more HP than the Trogs will. Than the Trogs do, especially after they've been hurt. It's too bad I didn't buy the first aid tent for Jaeger. I should have been more generous. The Necromancer is off scouting while Jaeger's doing reinforcements. Almost there. Might lose the one Trog who ran up if I don't Magic Arrow. Very good. 5 Trogs for 18 Medusa Queens. That's highly favorable exchange ratio. And Sephiroth can take these Medusa Queens for upgrade and grab the ore and whatnot. Speed Christian up a bit. He's got 8 attack, very nice. Yeah, at this point the scenario is just getting bullied. Look at my bank account. 23k, I'm not keeping up with my spending. I'm going to have a capital soon. And then I'll have to build a fort at Rampart and start collecting interest on all my surplus gold. Via the Dwarven Treasury. Check out this corner. There is something there that I didn't get yet. 2k, very nice. Lorelei will stop by for some education. And swap out with Jaeger, who will head to the hill fort. Cuthbert really fled out of the frying pan and into the fire. That's why I love these Harpy Mage Scouts. At a moment's notice, they can become a main army with very high speed for the turn. Pretty brutal. Yeah, I think this is enough. Okay, so how to arrange this mess? I think they just stick the rampart down weak on the weak side, the south side, as bait, and pick them apart as they charge in, because I don't really care if I lose the elves. Meanwhile, the dungeon shooters don't particularly need protection. It's just a question of trying to lure someone close to the Medusas. What's the best way to do that? Probably stick it next to the evil eyes and someone will step between them to draw their focus. I do want the harpies close to the middle, though, to sort of dominate the board. In the middle, yeah, is best. And they won't block the the trogs, since they'll be back a half hex. I think I'm happy with that. 108. Sure, I can do better than that. 108 and like 3 others. Okay, not the best spell selection here. He missed his scholarly encounters. He's a new guy. Only 30 MP. This is overkill, potentially, but no more archers for you. That should encourage him to drive forward. Taking out his archers encourages him to push everything forward in a rush, which will help me to get a defeat as opposed to a rout, and remove his main hero from the board, which is worth some extra casualties. The griffin might land on the trogs, so I shielded it, and even if it doesn't, it's going to probably eat some retaliations. Maybe I should have cast haste on something instead. Only the wraiths can reach someone this turn, so they're the priority to reduce. Yeah, maybe haste on the harpies to let them hit the griffins on the way in would have been better than shielding the trogs. Hitting the halberdiers is good too, though. They'll be here in 2 turns as well, and they're squishier than griffins. Down to 4, very nice. What are Medusas for but taking hits and retaliating on fast flyers rather than taking that hit on the trogs? It's probably better. Since the griffins will infinitely retaliate, they're a good target for ranged attack. But I don't think I'll bring it down, and it would be a waste for the evil eyes to hit it. Go for the wraiths. Well, yeah, wraiths instead. Save some dwarves. Not sure about that. Maybe I should have shot the griffins and then hit them with the Medusas to finish them off. Might be time for a magic arrow at this point. 60 points of damage, and there's not many HP left on the other team. Just need to take out the fast ones, really. Trogs need to reach someone this turn. Someone meaty. The swordsman just stepped into range. Nope, they're right out of range. That's to be expected. They have the highest HP, and so they're the ones I need to hit. I don't want to take their retaliation on the trogs, though. High attack versus low defense. Jaeger has poor stats, so sacrifice the dwarves. They've done their job. Waste that hit, largely. And yeah, I probably should have put the Medusas and the elves on the griffins and let the dwarves die to the wraiths, and then shot the swordsman with the evil eyes. But it's going to work out. I've got the harpies ready to go. Finish off the swordsman almost. They're down to 3. So that's 80 HP there. The Wraiths have more, about 100 or so. Maybe a magic arrow into the Wraiths, and then make up the rest with small hits. Save some MP that way. There we go. And the 140 HP pikemen can go. The Evil Eyes will certainly eliminate the swordsman. $121.3, much better. Thank you for the artifact. Yeah, so overall, that went well. Expert mysticism. So yeah, red is just getting crushed. There is no semblance of hope for it anymore. No front on which it can hope to advance. And my armies are not even fully deployed to the surface. Time to go for the capital. So I've got Alamor at the center castle, and then Jaeger at the rampart. And red is done. That's the game. His remaining hero is Vokial. I can't see right now, but where is he? He left over here somewhere. Now his best hero is some necromancer off hero. The guy got out of the prison. His stats are summed to 9, which is less than this new guy, Jaeger, that just fought this battle, whose stats are 13. Let's see, my main hero is 13, 17. So, and that was one of my 3 main armies. Let's see. So Christian is the blindside army, and then Alamar has the Damazon army. So the middle is securely held now. And he's got a few cavaliers. Big deal. And then Jaeger, of course, has this reinforcement army that needs to be divided up. And I've got the Minotaur army, the Minowar. It's about to get started. The Minotaurs are on their way over. So there's just no chance for red anymore. And there's no need to play this out. I'll have to level up my troops, but this is not a scenario speed run, so I'll just... there's no pressure. And there's nothing really more to learn here. So thanks for watching. And 144, that is in competitive comparison, there are no useful guides written for this scenario on impossible difficulty, because you have to edit the scenario to change the difficulty from expert to from whatever it is to impossible. So 2 people have done it on YouTube, and I just beat both of their times. Meridian got to where I am on month 2, week 2, day 3, and Master KD was not as far as I am on 144. He did snipe Red's main town, but didn't have the other towns and didn't hold it securely until 211. So, whereas I'm just completely dominated Red on 144 and could take his main town earlier than that if I wanted to. So that is it. That is the no stress strategy for how to play this scenario. There you have it.